All right, got my audience here. Okay. I have a challenge for you. Do you guys have a smartphone on you?
Yes.
Okay, I want you to take your smartphones out. I want you to set them next to you or on your lap. And for the rest of the speech, I don't want you to pick up your smartphone at all. I want you to notice whenever you have the urge to pick it up, to check your notifications, or to unlock your screen for any reason. Can you do that for me?
Yes.
Okay. Like you, I have grown up in this world of changing technology. I remember as a young child when my family first started to switch from the brick phones and flip phones of the day to the brand new iPhones and Androids. It was an exciting innovation. Now, since that time, smartphone usage has continued to become more widespread. According to the Pew Research Center, a staggering 96% of Americans own a smartphone today. It's pretty good product distribution considering the first iPhones came out only 12 years ago. Now, what originally started it as an advancement in cellular communication has moved to a pocket-sized computer, movie studio, music platform, and gaming center, with literally thousands of ways to interact with others online. We've all become expert in this new technology, and we often become immersed in it. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt like you didn't have enough time in your day? Or have you ever gotten to the end of the day and felt like you didn't get anything done? If you did, you're definitely not alone. That's something that I have personally experienced in my own life. Now, wouldn't you like to know where all that time was going? I'll give you one guess. It's your phone. The simple truth of the matter is that we use our phones way too much. Phones have moved from being a helpful tool to stealing our time from us. And too much screen time can have some really negative effects on our mental health and well-being. Today, I'm going to show you why technology usage is a serious problem, why it probably affects pretty much everyone that you know, and some simple steps that we can take to manage our screen time and to improve our quality of life and our mental health. So let's dive into the problem at hand. It's a safe bet that we all have a phone. And while we use our phones for productive things, it's also a pretty decent chance that we've gotten lost in our scrolling or our phones at some point or another. Let's face it, it's not that hard to spend a lot of time on your phone. Now, if you have an iPhone, you might have noticed that weekly notification that pops up with your screen time report. When the quarantine from the COVID-19 pandemic forced us to stay at home in March, the Washington Post ran a story about people who started noticing that little report rising for them. Some people reported 30% increases in their screen time report. Now, the average adult already spends 3.5 to 4 hours on their phone every day. So that 30% increase pushed them to almost 7 hours. That's a lot. CNN reported that teenagers already spent 7 hours on their phone on average a day, and that's outside of schoolwork. Now, think about it. We have 24 hours in a day, and we spend about 16 of those hours awake. That means that almost half of a teenager's time awake is spent in front of a screen. Now, the thing that makes it so difficult is that in our society, we're pretty much expected to have a phone. Anyone from schools and businesses and doctors, and especially family and friends, expect us to be reachable, to manage our data and our information, and to be consumers through our phone. To function in society, we're told that we have to be connected. While this is true across all demographics, it is especially true among young adults and teenagers. There's enormous pressure on them to follow the trends and to stay connected to be socially accepted. In large, this is exactly what they are doing, and they're worried about it. In 2018, the Pew Research Center conducted a study that said that 54% of teens aged 13 to 17 were worried about the amount of time they were spending online and on their phones. Now, because technology is so new, it's difficult to track or evaluate the effect of excessive technology use on the brain long term, but some studies are already starting to show results. The Center for Treatment of Anxiety and Mood Disorders has compiled some of those results for us. Children who spend more than 2 hours in front of screens scored significantly lower on thinking and language tests. Other studies link screen time to inactivity and to higher obesity rates. They also show that higher screen time is linked to anxiety, depression, and loneliness. In one study, over half of teens reported parents were sometimes or often distracted by their own phones in conversation with their child. Our phones are even getting in the way of connecting with people right in front of us. And an important study that was done by the psychology department of Florida State University in San Diego State University, excessive screen time was expressly linked to increases in anxiety, depression, self-harm, and suicide in young adults. We use our phones way too much, and it's hurting us. But that is something that we can change. The simple solution is to spend less time on our phone. Now, the problem with this is that phones are rather addictive, and it's easier said than done. The good news is that people are starting to recognize this as a problem, and they're coming up with solutions. I want to share a couple of those simple things we can do with you guys today. Now, did you know that there are apps that will reward you for time not spent on your phone? I use an app called Pocket Points. The more time that I spend without using my phone, the more my points build up. I can then cash those points in for awesome discounts at local restaurants and stores. I don't know about you, but for me, food is a pretty good motivator. There are other apps like one called Quality Time that helps you track your screen time and can even set limits on your apps for the day. This is how I manage my social media use, and it actually really helps. For Android users, Quality Time kind of acts like your screen time report from Apple. Now, you want to know the best part about all this? Is those are completely free. The only thing that you have to lose is wasted time. Not a bad deal, right? So these steps might be small, but they can make a really big difference. As we use our phones less, we'll have more time to accomplish the things that we need to do. That alone is going to bring down my stress level. Imagine if you had an extra hour or 2 or 3 in your day. What could you do with that time? Making adjustments to our technological habits can be big or small. That's up to you. But you can start right now. There's a world of possibilities and personal connections that await us as we learn to manage our time more effectively, and we can focus on the people and the tasks around us. As I prepared for this speech, I've tried to put some of these principles into action in my own life. I realized that I was using my phone way too much. This semester has been kind of stressful for me, and at times I've really struggled with anxiety. As I have used my phone less, I've realized that my stress levels have come down. I've had more time to do my homework and to accomplish the other things that I need to do. And most importantly, I've been able to connect more meaningfully with the people around me without being distracted by my phone. The benefits that we've talked about today really are possible with just a few simple adjustments. So how do you feel? Did you make it through the last 7 minutes without touching your phone? If you did, you're already on your way to improving your quality of life. So let's recap. Phones are a great tool, but they can be a punishing master if we don't manage our time effectively. Too much screen time leads to anxiety and depression, as well as a lot of wasted time. There we are. We all have things that are important to us, and as we make an effort to put our phones aside, we'll have so much time to do the things that we love with the people that we love. Today, I would challenge you all to build upon what we've talked about today and to make a step towards controlling your screen time. Go download an app and continue to become aware of your own personal habits. In a world that is full of distractions, you can take action. Thank you.